Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So this is Chris from Cypher Sigma Screen Time. It's the weekend and it's a movie review time. So yes, it's the Mario Brothers or the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Let's go. So yes, so this is my recent film that I've been watching this week. So it's the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Make sure it's an hour and 38 minutes long. Anybody who doesn't know, we essentially have a follow-on from the first movie that was 2 or 3 years ago. But this focuses around a new character called Rosalita in the movie universe. I'm not too up on my Mario games and stuff, so I don't know. She is captured by Bowser Jr., and Bowser Jr. is going after Bowser, and essentially it's the good guy's mission to try and stop her to rescue Rosalita. That is essentially the gist of it from the trailer. You would have got that. There are a lot of twists and turns and characters and everything like they tried to do in the other one. So now that we'll put the spoiler wall up and we shall jump into it. So yes, so this movie starts, you have these little star creatures. I believe you met one of them in the first movie, if you remember seeing that in a cage. They are kind of kids to Rosalita character. She guards them. She reads them a bedtime story about like Peach and the plumbers. And then they get attacked by Bowser Jr. They are basically fighting to the point of where he starts shooting missiles and bombs at the castle. Rosalita steps in the way to stop him and gets basically captured in the process. Her and one of her little stars. So Rosalita is voiced by Brie Larson, obviously Captain Marvel, and then she is taken away by Benny Safdie's character Bowser Jr. The star then shoots off. They basically go back to his kind of spaceship, and then you find this basically she does manage to free herself and her son before getting captured again, or son or little star. The little star shoots off to basically get help. Then we go back to the real world, and you have Mario and Luigi going through the desert on their bikes, get into a pyramid, and basically this is where they find Yoshi. Adding Yoshi to the team. Yoshi's a little bit of a montage back of where we found him from the first movie when he was kind of shown. You get to see Donkey Kong in a non-speaking role and a few other characters and stuff from the first movie. Yoshi being voiced by Donald Glover. Not quite sure why they've got someone who just is Yoshi to quite a big person. But hey ho, each to their own. Yoshi joins the team and then they basically scoot off. Quite interesting thing. I very like in Mario how they put a lot of little hidden things in, so you may pick up and it may not. When they're going off on their bikes with Yoshi at the end of driving through, they've got the sound to Enter Sandman by Metallica playing, which I thought was very funny because they're in the desert. Anyway, little gems like that I quite like. Anyway, they go back. They introduce Yoshi to it, and basically you have it, or it's Princess Peach's birthday. They all get dressed up. There's all a party going on. They go and meet Peach. She's nowhere to be seen. Mario confronts her, gives her a nice umbrella as a birthday one, and as they're kind of having a connection, a shooting star shoots across Crashlands. They go and find it, and it's this shooting star, and basically details that obviously Rosalita's been kidnapped and they need help. Mario lets them all everyone recover and says, in the morning we'll sort out a plan, but just, Peach and Toad decide to go on their own. The star turns into like kind of a portal thing, and they shoot off to this kind of galaxy world. This is where then you have the split up of Mario and Luigi are left looking after the Mushroom Kingdom, trying to do their best until they are attacked by, until you see the scene from Bowser from the trailer. That scene's done. They go about their own way because he wants to be released. They won't release him. His son then attacks the castle, pulls it up into the air, uses his magic paintbrush, which I think is quite a cool tool. Attacks them. They manage to break off the tractor beam, causing the mushroom village to smash into another planet, leaving them stranded on this B planet with Bowser, and Bowser Jr. off then trying to look for his dad. They then approach this kind of Queen Bee of the planet and basically say that they need help. She says, well, I'm going to enslave you. Bowser says, no, I'll do the work for you, because he's trying to be reformed. and Mario and that go off back to the planet, or back to the galaxy. One, they get on a bug and then they fly off to this galaxy bug thing, or they're on a bug, sorry, flying off to this kind of galaxy interdimensional kind of hub. This then culminates, obviously, Bowser starts working away and then gets kidnapped by Bowser Jr. Even though Bowser's reformed, his son goes, no, I can't, we should be evil, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this leads them to all kind of coming together. Princess Peach and Toad are at this intergalactic kind of subhighway. This monkey kidnaps Toad's bag. There's a big battle and stuff, and this then leads them to meet Fox McCloud, played by Glen Powell. Basically, he says he will take them to, like, because they've got money, he will take them to Bowser's planet where it was. Funny enough, Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi all turn up at the same time as well. They all get on this on McCloud's ship that you may remember from the N64 days, and then they fly off into space. As they're flying in space, Bowser Jr. and Bowser, or Bowser Jr. mainly, is trying to kill him. Bowser doesn't want to because he's trying to be friend, and then they kind of get attacked. The ship gets damaged. Mario and Luigi get turned into kids, babies. They like this gimmick of stuff. They land on this dinosaur planet. And then kind of this is where then Bowser Jr. starts to kind of influence Bowser to remember of him, and then starting to bring him evil a little bit. Mario and and Star Fox and that, they all crash on this planet. They kind of get themselves sorted, and then they manage to get rescued by all the little star children of Rosalitas that are still at home. Their planet conveniently is a rocket that gets there, helps them, brings them to the big planet that Bowser Jr. has built that his dad spoke about, and then there's a final confrontation, which is really good. I won't get into all the details because I don't remember stuff. I thought the final battle was quite good. They did do a few little changes, which I thought was very clever. I don't know the games in and out. Obviously, you have all the returning cast of Jack Black, Chris Pratt, Charlie Day, Keegan Michael Kell, Anna Taylor-Joy, all playing original voices. And then at the end, you have a mid-credit scene and you have an end-credit scene, basically foreshadowing what the third movie possibly will be if we get it. So what did I think of this movie? So I rate this movie 6 out of 10. So with Mario, like I said, of Enter the Sandman and stuff like this, I liked in the first one. There were loads of little hidden details. In this, they have Star Fox has like an N64 gun. You have the big kind of laser gun that Bowser Jr. uses to shrink them as kids. When there is a kid and there's a big dinosaur, that is, I presume, a homage to the TV series of Super Mario World with dinosaurs and stuff like this, because Yoshi's in it and that, and supposedly that scene is also a homage to The Land Before Time, the shark near the end of it, if you've ever seen that movie. And I said, overall, I enjoyed it. As I say, that's why I give it 6. I don't think it's as good as the first one. I like the fact that Fox is in there. They shoved a lot in there, and for an hour and 38 minutes to have all this stuff in there, I think it is a little bit of a crowded. The overall story gets there, but they do make some interesting choices, and it's like, first off, obviously, they're like, Rosalita's been kidnapped. They don't know anything about Rosalina, what her power is, blah, blah, blah. She's been kidnapped. So why Princess Peach and Toad think they can save her when they've really not got... I mean, they are powerful and they're shown powerful, but surely bringing Mario and Luigi along would make sense, even though they kind of have it that when they go off, they have a kind of little montage of them saving it, and it's like the old games where they go to these different areas, which I really, really liked. So it's like, I didn't agree with the overall idea, but how it was applied, I did quite enjoy. Also, a few little funs. I didn't really like the fact that Bowser was becoming good, so to speak, because it was all kind of, it didn't seem, Bowser's been evil, he should be evil, I don't know. And it kind of, there's one scene where they kind of have Bowser talking to Bowser Jr., which reminded me very much of Wreck-It Ralph, of, where he's like, bad guys being bad, but that's a good thing and stuff. And I was like, I feel like you've tried to take homage from there. And I don't, why can't Bowser just be a bad guy? He wants a princess, fair enough, but he's just a bad guy, and that's who he is. Accept it for what it is. Not trying to make him good and then kind of having this, oh, well, he'll be all good to Mario and that, and then he kind of turns face at the end anyway. I was like, no, just make him evil. Just make him that he's putting on his pretense like most villains would to get out of there. And it was a lot of things like that with Bowser. There's one where, like, they go, the Mario and Luigi, when Princess goes off, they're doing all this stuff to save the Mushroom Kingdom, which I thought was really, really good. And then at the end, like, oh, there's something in the castle, and it's Bowser. And then they have the, where it shows the portrait in that. And they've literally just seen Bowser. He's gone off in his castle. They walk off, and then everything's getting, then they get attacked by Bowser Jr. And the castle's being lifted up into the air. And they're like, right, we've got to get everybody out. Get all the Toads out. And then they're like, right, everybody's out. I'm like, well, no, it isn't, because Bowser's miniaturized stuck in this little castle that you've not even thought about, even though he was the person you saw before the castle was lifted. I was like, doesn't make sense. You know, even though Mario doesn't like Bowser, you know, you would think of a good guy, he wouldn't want him to die. And there is that. Also, the other thing, this star from Rosalita that escapes, it comes to Peach and Toad and is talking to them and blah 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 blah, going, I can help you. It turns into this teleportation star and then magically has disappeared, never to be seen again. And I'm like, is that its power? Does the star turn into a star and it dies and it sacrificed its life to teleport you there? Didn't make no sense, and it's kind of forgotten about throughout the whole of the show. So yeah, and the fact that then they split them all up for this little montage and they all got back together with Star Fox, I was like, well, it's a bit too convenient. Why couldn't they all have gone along? I really liked Fox McCloud. I thought he was really good. I really liked the mixed animation styles and stuff for it and the little references. I thought all of that worked really, really well. So overall, it was really good. It's a very, very beautifully made movie. But at the end of the day, it dropped a little bit. I think the overall idea was good. I think just the execution was lacking because they shoved so much stuff in there. I think it needed to be a little bit longer. But have you seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie? I've been Chris from Cypher Sigma Screen Time. Thank you for watching my movie review, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.